Hi everyone, welcome back to another book journal update. So to start off, I was desperately needing to print out some of the book covers. So I printed out obviously all of the ones that I've read for November, and I also printed out some of the books that I'll probably be reading pretty soon. What I usually do is I have one bigger book cover that I use for my review page, and then two smaller ones. One goes on the front cover for the month, and the other one gets added to my 22, all the books I've read in 2022. So got my journal out, and we're going to start with the November reads. I know it doesn't really matter, but for some reason I like to kind of put them in the order that I read them, even though with a spread like this they're really kind of spread out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And you'll probably also see me freaking out in a minute or so because I realised that I put the wrong book covers on the cover page. So this page is meant to be one of the smaller ones, and for some reason, even though this is my 11th month doing this, I accidentally put the wrong covers on, and somehow I also managed to run out of glue tape, and I also managed to break the other one that I was using. It was just really not my morning when I was recording these. Here we go, it's the last one in. And that's me having my minor meltdown thinking, what have I done? But it's fine, it's just one of those things. I'm trying to not make a big deal about when I make a mistake in my planner, especially because I've been digital planning mainly these days, and it's so easy to fix a mistake or if you need to change something. But with paper planning, obviously, you don't really have that luxury. If you make a mistake, it's fixable, but not as easy as it is with a digital planner. So the mistake was made, it's not like it's anything huge, so we're just going to roll with it this month. And it's fine, I mean, the spread still looks cute, even if the book covers are a little bit smaller than they're supposed to be. So the first book I had for November was Unquiet Spirits. This was a really good essay collection, all written by women in horror, and it was them relating real life experiences and comparing it to ghosts and things like that from their own culture. So it was such an interesting read, and it deals with a lot of really sensitive topics and things like that. But so trigger warnings if you're going to read it, but it was a really, really good read. I really recommend it. Next up is the Guided Self-Love Workbook for Teen Girls. Now, don't let the name throw you off, this is definitely not just for teen girls. There was loads of great motivational quotes from famous women in there, and there was lots of great exercises for anybody who's just looking to kind of boost their self-love a little bit. So that was just such a wonderful read. I really enjoyed having this one in this month. Really should have moved my book journal up, but I was not paying enough attention to the video, obviously. Next up was Unfamiliar by Hayley Newsome, and if you don't know, she is Lavender Town on YouTube, and I've been following her for years and years and years, so it was just absolutely amazing that when I found Unfamiliar on NetGalley. It's such a cute little witchy comic, and the characters are so quirky and cute, and the illustrations are just so pretty, so I was super happy that I got to read that this month. Next up was Of Cages and Crowns. Now this one kind of follows the tried and true trope of disadvantaged girl has to go and fight for her life and the prince is the prize kind of trope, but it's done really well. I really enjoyed it. The main character Monroe was super likeable, and it was just, although it's a little bit predictable, there were still lots of surprises, especially near the end of the book, so I'm already super excited for book 2, even though this one hasn't actually officially released yet, so definitely keep an eye out for that one. The next one is Just Peachy. It was a comic collection about depression, anxiety, love and things like that. Surprisingly, with it being a comic collection, it was actually much more emotional than I thought it was going to be. I kind of get hit in the feels a little bit, but I suppose that's what it was intending to do, right? So that was definitely a good read. And the last one was The Life-Changing Manga of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Now, I've watched the TV show, I've read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, so finding it in comic form was just a pure surprise, and I couldn't pass up, especially because I'm going to have to find things that spark joy in my life when we move in house soon, to decide what comes with me, what stays, what gets thrown away, what gets thanked, and all that kind of stuff. So that was just a nice wee cute refreshing read, and it was I literally read it in like 45 minutes or something, but it was super cute. Next up, I'm just filling in my books that I read this month to keep up to date. I don't know why, but it always seems to be that at the start of the month I'm super slow, and then at the end of the month I kind of pick up steam, and then the next month comes and I'm super slow, then I get super fast at the end again. I don't know how, because I really didn't think I was going to read this many books in November, and I'll probably be able to add at least another one, if not two, by the end of the month as well, because I'm almost finished another one. My Harry Potter audiobook's almost done, so at least one or two more is going to have to get added into this after this video. Next up, checking my A to Z as always, but still just stuck in a couple of letters here. I think I'm going to have to go out and like search for books specifically with those letters to try and finish it, because I'm so close to finishing it, but yet so far. Only one 5-star read to add in, which was Unfamiliar. Everything else was 4 stars this month, so just one more on there. I think when I do next year's journal, I might leave 2 pages just in case, because the extra page just isn't really doing it for me. Making progress on the Goodreads 100, but unfortunately Disney Dreamlight Valley came out and took up all my time, and then just as I was starting to kind of wean myself off of it a little bit, Pokemon Scarlet Violet came out, so I'm kind of Pokemon obsessed these days, so I'll need to try and maybe listen to some more audiobooks whilst I'm playing or something like that, so that I can at least attempt to try and get close to the 100. Don't know if I'm going to make it though. I maybe set my sights a little bit too high. But hey ho, if I don't reach it, it's not like it's the end of the world, so it's just for fun. And here you can see me struggling with my glue tape again. It really was just not my morning. I tried breaking it down out of the cage and it did work a little bit more, but then the end of it broke. I really had a time with this morning. Not only that, but I also accidentally threw a mirror halfway across my living room. Thankfully it didn't break. I don't know how it didn't break, but small miracles, but it definitely just was not my morning this morning. But the day turned out alright anyway, so just need to keep thinking positive, right? Struggle. I was determined to make it last because I don't think I've got any more glue tape. I'll have to buy some more, so I was determined to get them to work. I think there's like the tiniest, like little tiny bit on each of these, but it was just enough to hold them in place. There we go. Hopefully they'll hold. Checking out the other pages, but there's nothing else I really need to fill in. Everything else is already done. Just a couple of arcs to add in that I've been lucky enough to read this month. See me constantly checking my computer for like dates read and things like that, because my memory is absolutely awful. I can't remember anything off the top of my head unless it happened like 20 years ago or something, then I can remember it with like perfect clarity. But if it happened recently, not a chance, I'll never remember. And that's pretty much it. That's my November update. My December setup will be going up soon. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.